Hello, and welcome to 5 Minute Math. Today we are looking at the third grade concept of comparing fractions. This is standard 3.3H in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 15 off the 2025 released STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. All right, so we've got Kayla and Doug playing with blocks. Kayla's got 6. Doug's got 8. All right, and so Kayla and Doug each have 3 yellow blocks. Now, which has got the greater fraction of yellow blocks? Well, let's see if we can figure out how to compare these fractions. First, we can compare these fractions without pictures, then we can draw some pictures, but it's a little bit tricky drawing pictures. You have to make sure you draw them the correct sizes. So let's look at Kayla. So Kayla has got 6 blocks. Okay, and so I'm going to put that as her denominator because that's how many total blocks she has. Now, Doug says it's got 8 blocks. I'm going to put that as his denominators because your denominator is always your total. So they have a different amount of blocks. Kayla's got 6, Doug's got 8. Now they each have 3 yellow, and we're asking about yellow. So your numerator, so I'm going to put my denominator right here. So my numerator is always how many you're looking at. What is the specific type you're looking at? In this case, we're looking at yellow, so I've got 3. All right. So who's got the greater fraction of yellow blocks? Well, we can compare these two fractions because they have the same numerator. If they had the same denominator, we could also compare them. So 3/6 and 3/8. Let's look what happens if our fraction numerators stay the same and our fraction denominators get bigger and bigger and bigger. So we have 3/6, right? So if we've got 6 right here, we're dealing with 3 out of 6. So you see that's half of it right there because there's 3 on the top, 3 on the bottom. And I've got 3/8. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to cut it in half, and you notice that it's a little bit less than half because there's 4 on the top, 4 on the bottom. I only got 3. And then let's say I make it even bigger. Let's say I've got 3/12. I'm just going to show you what happens when our denominator keeps getting bigger. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so we don't need that last one. Look, it's nowhere near close to half because there's 6 on the top, 6 on the bottom, and I only have 3. Imagine if I were to do 3/100ths, right? So let's say I get 50 all the way over here, and I'm just going to just say there's 50 here. I'm not going to draw them out. Imagine I only have 3, and it probably goes all the way out to there. Let's say my 50 goes all the way out to here. You notice that as the number of pieces, the denominator gets bigger, that 3 becomes smaller and smaller because there are more and more pieces. So we can take that and we can go back to what we've done over here. We're looking at our 3/6 and our 3/8. Well, you notice that my 3/6, there's only 6 pieces, so my 3 pieces are half of them. But as I get to 8 pieces, I don't have quite half. And as I got to the 12ths and the hundredths, it becomes much, much less than half. So we can see that this 3/6 is going to end up being larger because the more pieces there are, the greater the denominator, the smaller the amount. So the greater the denominator, I'll write this right here, the smaller the pieces. And so Kayla has got 3 out of 6 kind of regular sized pieces, but Doug's pieces are smaller because there's 8 of them, which means there's not there's less to go around. And so Kayla is going to have a greater fraction of yellow blocks because 3/6 is greater than 3/8 A.